Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons show! Nick, do you want to go ahead and start off some player introductions, and then I will... Did I skip something?
Sure. Hi.
What did I do?
They said, "Are you ready?"
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Nick. I play Thaddeus Hammerlock, the Human Vengeance Paladin.
I'm Kay. I play Harmony, who's the Tiefling Wild Magic Sorcerer.
Hi, I'm Zach, and I play Zant, who is a fighter. Human, not Warforged.
Nope.
Fighter Ranger. Got it. God.
We're not ready.
I am
I'm not
Melissa,
ready.
and I play Mara, who is a human swashbuckler rogue.
Nice.
So, a couple of quick announcements,
You guys suck.
reminders,
Yep.
and then we'll get into a recap, and then we will dive straight into the gameplay for tonight. We premiere our episodes on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Throughout the show, we use a variety of custom items, as well as a custom wild magic table, so be aware of that as you're watching. Our music comes from BattleBards, TabletopAudio, and Incompetech. The character portraits, which you'll see in the character cards in the top right corner of the screen, were drawn by an artist named Carrie Peach, who goes by @CarrieDraws on Twitter. Other than that, you can check the video description for links and info to everything I just mentioned and more. And if you still want more information or want to see what we're doing and when, you can follow us on Twitter @AntiheroesAnon. Other than that, we just hope you enjoy the show, share it with your friends, and come back to watch more. So, recap before we dive back in, since it's been a week since we played. 2 weeks? 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. That one.
The party is going after a night hag named Mother Midnight in her lair on Malbolg, the 6th lair of the Nine Hells. To do so, they first arrived in Avernus, the first circle of the Nine Hells, where they must perform 2 tasks, essentially. The first of their tasks is to grant a favor to a merchant named Mahadi on behalf of their friend Sial. That's something they agreed upon previously. And then the second favor, and then what that favor was, I should have read this recap before I started speaking. What that favor was to deliver a celestial elephant named Lulu to a woman named Feonor, and convey to her that it was a gift from Mahadi. The road to Feonor and where she takes up residence at the Crypt of the Shattered Gibbous led through a pass that was overrun by demons, but on the back of the war machine that they are hitching a ride on, the party managed to handily pass through the mountains without too much damage, actually with no damage to the machine, and having killed several demons on their way. So we left off last week with the war machine, the scavenger, just bursting out from this pass in the mountains, known as the Perilous Jaws, for its craggy formations that almost look like a jawed, like a fanged mouth closing. The war machine burst out onto the other side, and there's just like smaller demons and demon blood just like flying everywhere. And the machine just lurches onto the fields, headed down a steep slope towards another valley and plain. And in that valley, you can see a small outcropping of hills, which are surrounded by what looks like a dark forest. And you could just make it out at this distance. And it looks like there is some large landmass or something like that floating above the hill, but it's hard to make out details at this distance. And your driver, the Skull Lord, whose 3 heads you met previously in earlier adventures, turns back to you and says, "All right, that's it. That's our destination, the Crypt of the Shattered Gibbous. We should be there in a few moments if everything goes well."
There's a couple of things Thaddeus wants to do on the way. One, I want to experiment with casting Remove Curse on my hand.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah!
So you look down at your hand, and it is your left hand? No, your
It's
right.
my sword.
Your sword hand.
It was the demon ichor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was splashed by the black, sticky demon ichor, and all that demon ichor has been wiped off by now. That's the problem. But it left behind sort of a red, scaled, fiendish-looking claw with these wicked talons at the end. And you want to cast Remove Curse.
Yeah, I want to see if this will work or if like stronger magic is needed here.
Roll a d20 and add your charisma.
Okay. Well, 9.
I need to roll something, but
I assume you meant my charisma modifier, right? Not my
Yes.
entire charisma. Okay.
Please.
let's see.
Do we also have time for a short rest on this ride?
I mean, we were just fighting.
I think the Skull Lord said mere moments away from that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how far away we were after that.
You cast the spell, and you get the sense, like the magic begins to take, and you can see a few of the scales begin to recede, but then it almost feels as if like something pushes back on the magic, and the scales grow their way back up.
Ooh. This might be permanent.
Oh boy.
Alright.
Well, we all knew there'd be a risk coming to hell, right?
Yeah.
It's a new look for sure. Might come in handy.
Listen, Daddy, if we get through this alive and make it back to the material plane, I might be able to get rid of it for you.
I think there are things you can do better with that power than this, but I appreciate the
Well,
offer.
I mean, once we get through this,
Or maybe Eli knows some
and we make
purification
it
magic.
back home,
What about, I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Or Don might too.
But while you're feeling sorry for me,
I never said I was feeling sorry for you.
can I borrow that ruby of yours? Is it charged today?
That's a good question. Who are you going to contact and warn?
I would like
Rosie,
to.
Rosie.
Operator.
What do you want with my darling Ruby?
I want to see if we can get a soul coin out of what we just did. From Legate Kalazel.
Oh, the lieutenant?
Mm-hmm.
The one that allowed us passage and...
Oh, I see.
Right.
Yeah, no, but why would we... How... What if we need... Okay. I give you the Ruby.
Alright, and I'm gonna cast Sending to Legate Kalazel.
Okay. You feel the spell connect.
Okay. And I'll say, cleared out most of the demons in the pass. The rest would be easy for you to mop up. If you're inclined, leave us a soul coin for us to collect on our way back.
The only response you get back is a very crisp, understood.
I'll give
But it doesn't confirm one way or another whether
Right,
there will
right.
be any money for you on the way back.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, I think very well with that.
Good idea.
That's a good idea.
Mark that is being used today. Alright. Well, are we just heading to this shattered moon place?
Yeah.
You can hear the engine of the vehicle that you are traversing the plains at a quite rapid pace since you're on a downhill at this point. You can hear its engine begin to sort of whine and splutter. And Carl looks back at you and says, "All right, man, here we go. We're out of fuel, like we're barely going to make it. You guys really owe us one." And both the other two heads just turn to him and go, "Shut up!" But yeah, the
Yeah.
engine...
I'll go ahead and tell them I may have made arrangements for more fuel. We'll see after this.
Yeah, you know, whatever. May have done this, may have done that. Doesn't do nothing.
Well, somebody woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
It's more like he woke up on the wrong side of the body, and he's done that, well,
Every day.
every day.
Maybe you should switch positions then.
I don't think we can. Maybe Feonor would be able to do it, but to be honest, I don't think that would actually improve his mood. I was trying to make a joke.
So was I.
And as Cecilia? Yes. No.
Yes.
Yes. As she says that, the scavenger splutters to a stop at the verge of that forest which you spotted from a distance. And it seems to be a forest of wickedly pointed rusty iron trees that just jut out of the ground, their sharp branches, ominous and foreboding. And then the forest, which you can see now, surrounds a forlorn group of hills that seem to be made out of some obsidian or like some other sort of dark rock. And then resting on top of that hill, you can see a huge stationary war machine that is fitted with gilded armor that just sort of glints in the perpetual twilight of Avernus. And floating above it, what you thought at a distance was a landmass, you can see now that you're closer, you can get a better idea for the texture, is a gigantic sack of wet-looking papery material. And you can see there's some sort of, it's hard to make it out, there's something like moving in the papery material. And this
Weird.
large structure is chained to the hill by these wicked-looking spiked steel chains that are kind of tethered to the hill next to where the war machine is parked. And as it comes to a complete halt, you hear sort of like a sigh of almost like a sigh of sweet release from the engine of the vehicle, as whatever soul was feeding the infernal engine is released from its torturous existence. And lastly, as you sort of observe this forest and begin to take it all in, you notice that there is a sign by the path that opens up next to you, which just reads in common, and then again in infernal, Coward's Way.
Great. So these soul coins that we're carrying around, are they bad people? I don't remember.
They're just people.
They're
Are they
kind
just
of the souls
people?
of the damned.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
So,
You can't make a good soul into a soul coin, Moloch says from Harmony's shoulder.
Okay.
yeah. We didn't have time to rest,
No.
I think we should rest now.
but I hurt a lot.
Yeah.
I also, that is like, used all of his lay on hands on himself. Because he was at 38 hit points, it's pretty bad.
I'm at 41.
Yeah, well, I don't have any left to give you.
So, I mean, should we just take an hour out here and rest?
Yeah, however long we need to recuperate before we
Yeah.
travel inwards.
Yeah. I'll see if I can ambitious rise stay with the group.
I'll ask the Skull Lord and say, well, we're gonna rest first and probably make our journey up to that castle for fortification. Is this a decent area to scavenge for the more coins for you, or is it completely out of the way?
One of the skeletal hands kind of comes up to the center head, which is Cecilia's chin, and she thinks for a moment and then says, well, if there are any battlefields near here, it's possible we might be able to scavenge something, but there are a few repairs we want to make to the machine, so while you're resting, that's fine. You take your
Okay.
time.
Mhm.
We'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Alright. Because I was gonna say I could send Biako out, because he's totally fine, to look for battlefields and come back if you'd like.
And she nods and says, if that's something you're comfortable with, it's entirely up to you.
Okay. Well, I think we'll take a rest first. And
Yeah,
then...
let's rest.
Okay.
Short resting.
All right. You sort of sit down for a short rest at the edge of this wicked-looking iron tree forest. The landscape around you is eerily quiet. There are a couple bubbling patches of lava in the vicinity, but other than the noises that they make as they just kind of gently burp, 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 not much seems to happen. Though, if any of you are observing the sack of wet papery material floating above the hill, you do occasionally see these large insect-looking creatures crawl out of it, and then take flight and sort of fly around as if they are on some sort of patrol. And they fly over, some of them will hover over you for a second and then fly back in. And then they come back out again in a minute or so, and then they fly around and do their patrol. And then fly back in.
Ooh.
Okay, other than that, your short rest is right around that.
Right.
Did you want to send Biako out?
I'll ask the group and say, are we ready to go right now?
I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should.
So maybe I'll just tell the skull. Okay, we're gonna head out right now, but maybe when we get back, if you guys haven't had a chance or you need help with it, then we can probably figure something out.
We're going to focus on repairs for now. There's a war machine parked up there, so I mean, maybe you can see what you can do to talk to whoever and see if you can get a soul coin. I don't know.
So
Half of 19 in D&D terms, is it 9 or 10?
9.
Yours right down.
Okay. Nice.
24, 26.
I'm almost back to full.
22.
Hopefully we don't have to use hit dice again today.
51. I know.
Because I just used my max for
Yeah.
recovering all of them for
Yeah.
I
tomorrow.
just used a lot as well.
Well, we'll see.
What AoE damage was pretty severe.
That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Mara's over here like, what? What?
What
Yeah.
AoE damage?
Did you not get hurt at all?
3. Remember, everything was like, oh, she doesn't get it. She passes. She doesn't.
And
get
that
it.
3 was from the rain, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so funny.
Which the acid rain has stopped for the moment. It's,
Great.
That's good.
it's still uncomfortably hot, but
You can't outrun the rain.
It's
Not
good
this
to be
time.
me.
Why didn't you control weather?
I was just looking at that, thinking, can I
Yeah.
control weather in hell? I don't think so. You
Try.
can't cast a spell.
Yeah,
Is
you
it a
can try
spell?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a kind
Try.
of.
I mean, you don't need to right now, but
Yeah.
you know, if it arises.
But it takes an hour
Funny
to cast,
that
right?
it's-
Or a minute?
Takes
It takes
a minute,
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10
yeah.
minutes.
But then it takes time for the changes to happen
Yeah.
depending on what you're doing.
So it's not an in-combat thing for sure.
No,
Probably useful once we get on the rubber sticks, though.
maybe.
Maybe. But yeah, we're
If
trying.
at all.
Okay. So
So we're done.
So are we gonna-
resting, we're going
Are we gonna look for an alternate way, or are we just gonna take the coward's way?
what do you want to do?
Well, you know what I'm gonna do. I want to look for the alternate way.
Okay. Ethan, can I roll like do like survival and look for different
yeah, I
pathways?
want to sort of fan
Pathfinding?
out and try and find
I'll
a
help you.
Sure.
place. Sure.
Okay.
Because I also skilled in
Pretty good.
survival.
Very
That
good.
is a 27.
27. There are
Thanks for the help.
certainly other paths through the trees, but this is the only defined path, right?
Okay.
So if you want to walk through the trees any other way, you're gonna have to and this isn't so much a problem for you with your sort of ranger abilities. You can guide people through it, but
It could just take a lot more time and effort to.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll explain that. Say, yeah, there's really no other
Well, listen.
these iron trees and
We're
stuff.
here to deliver
Mhm.
something, candidly. Maybe we take note of the other paths for later if we have to sneak back in.
It's a good point.
But for now, why don't we just take...
The coward's way.
I have an idea. Why don't we just write on the sign? And just name it something else.
Antiheroes way.
But well, we'll know.
Not anymore. Let's change it.
It's very, very...
We'll challenge whoever
Will
wrote
we
it initially.
be branded once we walk into the town as cowards, since we took the coward's way and nobody will take us
Oh
seriously?
my gosh, I cast telekinesis and I pull the sign up and I throw it on the ground. There, it's just a path. It's just
Okay.
a path.
All right.
Words have no power over us.
Okay.
okay. You begin to walk down the path.
Said the caster.
You begin to walk down the path, and the iron branches sort of close above you, blocking out the red sky of Avernus. And it's not too long before you walk into this forest surrounding the hills that you begin to hear a low moaning sound. And it's just coming from up ahead. Down
Can I-
the path.
Do we know what it is?
Yeah, can
Can we tell if it's like human
Roll
or...
look or
perception
listen for it? Okay.
It's a damn soul
Um,
on the floor.
does this count as a... No, it's... Okay.
Deception.
15.
15.
22.
22. Yeah, to both of you, I think it sounds like just a person, some sort of humanoid of some kind.
I guess I'm wondering if it's like an illusion.
It sounds, I mean, as far as you can tell, it sounds real.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out the wand and cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
Just for funsies.
Let's see. Anything you would see in the immediate vicinity?
Just because you can.
Oh, I haven't used it today, right?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think
forgot
you
to-
see anything in the
Okay, use it
immediate
all the time.
vicinity that is radiating magic.
Okay. That'll last for 10 minutes, so let me know if I get a ping on my radar.
Like even these metal trees, which do seem to be like growing out of the ground, it's not like they were placed here. They seem natural, like not magical. You know?
So it's the Ironwoods.
Do you have like some kind of a sensor thing?
Oh, I
Does it-
I can do it. I can do it for more or less free instantly, but I think I do have a version that is a little bit better than that. But it does not prepare today.
Well, use the free thing because we don't want to waste it. I mean, we already
I mean, do we
pretty
need to?
spent from the
Okay, yeah, I'll use it.
demon battle.
I'll use the detect or the divine sense.
Yeah, that's the
And
thing.
that
I was
tells you
thinking
about fiends, celestials,
Fiends, Celestials, and Undead
undead.
Perfect.
useful.
within
information.
60 feet.
What's it called again? Divine?
Divine
Sense.
sense.
I think
Like pennies.
you would probably like up around a corner where the sound seems to be coming
Happy
from.
July 25th.
You feel like a very slight like undead presence, but it's very slight.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I know the type, but not the identity.
Mhm.
So I'll say whatever that's making that sound, I think it's undead.
Fun.
Okay.
I think I might have enough in me for something radiant damagey. If we need that. I don't remember if that's just a vampire thing or if that's an all undead thing.
Pretty good all the time in hell.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think so.
Well, let's go.
All right,
Yeah, we can keep going.
sure.
You round that corner where the sound is coming from, and the source of the moaning and wailing becomes immediately apparent as a figure clad in ancient-looking armor that is tattered and rusted and otherwise tarnished, is impaled to the branches of one of these trees with just rusted iron branches covered with old-looking blood, is just sticking straight out from the chest of this knight, effectively. And this knight is just sitting on the tree going, in like pain as they are just impaled there. And they don't even seem to take notice of you. But Thaddeus, one thing you would notice instantly is that the armor, like
about to ask if there's any-
pauldrons or whatever of this figure, do seem to have the symbol of the waxing gibbous spoon.
Well, they did call this place a crypt.
The other thing you would notice is there is a sign hanging from the branch just in front of the knight's chest where it is sticking out that reads in, again in Infernal and in Common, Defector.
It's like just a sign.
Yep. It's
Okay.
just, it's like hanging on the branch.
Does anybody have a defector detector? Hey, you want to help me get him down?
I will.
Sure. I mean, yeah, we can all get him down.
Yeah, how high up is he?
He's not that high. I mean, maybe 15 feet or so off the ground.
Is Detect Magic still on?
Yes.
Do I see anything funny about this guy?
Is it easy or hard to tell if the tree impaled him or he was like forced? There.
You could roll a survival
Okay.
medicine check.
Crap.
Survival
Survival
Because
medicine.
medicine's usually what you would use to like
Yeah.
determine
Yeah,
someone's
yeah.
All right,
ability
fine.
to, like,
Hey, Harry, you want to
concentrate.
help me with something?
Sure.
Or somebody?
I'll help you.
Is your name Harmony now?
Oh, I thought you
Well,
said.
I figured you guys were getting him down.
I thought
so
you
was
said it's
gonna.
anybody, not it's
Oh.
Harmony.
Yeah,
I
I
heard
that's okay.
Harmony.
I heard anybody.
I figured you were getting him down, so
Did you say?
Okay.
You did
Yes,
say Harmony,
I did.
okay.
Yeah.
I missed it.
I
That's
did
alright.
too.
That's all right. I mean, you guys are getting him
Yeah,
down,
yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah.
you're closer for medicine checks.
Are you
is what I
good
was
at this?
thinking.
Or
I have a +2.
same?
Yeah.
You want to roll it? Me too.
You roll better than I do.
Okay, let's see. That's not bad. All right, thanks for the help.
You're welcome.
You needed it real bad.
Yeah.
19.
19.
Yeah.
The sort of the directionality of the wound compared to the branch, as you sort of look up at it, and you might have to like look through the scope to actually get a good
Oh yeah.
look at
Okay.
it. Makes it seem as if this figure was hoisted off the ground and shoved on it.
Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to know. I was a
Well,
little worried about
and
the trees.
The wound there isn't fresh either. Like it has
been there for a while.
scabbed and like
Ugh.
healed to the tree.
Gross.
Amara and I are going to try and get him off.
I'd like to think that the way I helped you was just watching you and you being like, I can't really see. Psst, use your scope.
Yeah.
That's how I helped.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what happened. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's why we're bringing you along.
Yep.
You're the smart one.
Sorry.
Between the two of you, you're easily able to hoist this knight off of the tree. And as you sort of bring them down to the ground, the flesh that was visible, because they were like wearing a helmet and things like that, but the flesh that was visible at like the hands and such begins to shrivel and wither until it basically is just like dry, cracked skin, and then it withers even further, and the bones begin to protrude, and then the bones themselves begin to crack and break, and by the time this thing hits the ground, it is dust.
Oof.
And the wailing just stops.
Well,
Well,
he's
Put him
at
out of
ease
his
now.
misery.
Yeah.
So is his like
So the armor
his
didn't-
things and stuff, or did that all? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I interrupted you.
Same thing.
Oh yeah, I mean the armor kind of like falls to the ground.
We were both
It's not in
asking.
good shape.
Okay. I just wondered if he had any other things on him that could tell us. No.
I was
Okay.
wondering if he had anything, or if everything turned to dust, or if the armor.
Just the
remained.
body. The armor kind of clatters to the ground,
Interesting.
but it's
Did he
rusty
have like a
and damaged.
pouch on him or anything?
No. His armor.
I mean, it's kind of an antique though.
it's not really worth much. I
It
mean,
could be. I prestidigitation it, make it look nice and shiny.
It's like, you know, you're polishing, I don't know, something. Never
A
mind.
metal turd.
Yeah,
Make how many
it's
it's
not
okay.
doing any good. Like it's still broken.
yeah.
If only I'd taken that mending cantrip, right?
Right. If only someone here could mend anything.
Yeah. Dang.
Hmm.
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 Funny about that.
Well, not much left for us here.
Okay. Well, yeah. I guess we continued on the path.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you, as you begin to walk down the path, you hear more of these moaning
Oh, boy.
sounds,
Okay.
and
It's
it's
gonna take a while.
it's not long at all before you round another corner, and there are 3 or 4 of these moaning bodies of knights shoved onto trees with the same defector sign in front of them.
Hmm.
Are these bodies considered
You can turn your
objects or
detector off
creatures?
now.
They're creatures because they register as undead to me.
I think they were creatures.
I was just gonna make it easy.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
But I can't use
Well,
telekinesis on a creature.
We can
Yeah,
probably.
you can.
Not with the ring.
Oh, you can.
The ring is only objects.
Oh.
The normal spell, yeah. You
I remember we were talking about if someone was
They're like
unconscious. If they,
incapacitated creatures, though. I would say you could use telekinesis.
yeah, I remember we had that
Oh.
conversation about incapacitated
Yeah.
people
If
being
you
objects.
if you want to do it, I think it would be mercy to them.
I mean, it would be a lot faster than you two
Yeah.
getting up there, as honorable as it was.
You just catapult them around.
I just like zoop, zoop, zoop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gently.
And it's the same scene for each one of them. Before they even hit the ground, they are just dust, withered, and blowing off in the slight breeze.
Do they all have the same armor? Or like same like
Similar.
si- okay, sigils and stuff or crests?
I mean, it's not like it's like copied and pasted.
No, I mean like, but it's all of the gibbous.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm curious about the writing on the defector sign. Is it like just like hastily scratched, or is it like very carefully written?
No, it's like carefully printed.
Okay.
And they all
and-
say defector.
And just another clarity thing. So we are going to what was it called? The Shattered
The
Gibbous?
Crypt of
The
the Shattered
crypt
Gibbous.
of the Shattered Gibbous.
Okay, and then these guys are wearing armor of the
Waxing Gibbous.
waxing gibbous. Okay. Alright.
Yeah, these are all clearly.
You'll recognize it.
Do you
'cause
think they were Zariel's old army?
it might have been.
Did they defect with Zariel and that's why they're defectors? Or.
Or did they defect from Zerial?
Oh, I was just thinking the other way around. Yeah.
I don't know. We might find the answers inside.
Punished for not following Zariel into her.
I'm gonna ask Lulu. Do you recognize any of these people?
Lulu has been strangely quiet. Is Lulu in the cage or like tied up? What's Lulu's situation?
Well,
We
the
need-
agreed upon agreement was to put her in the cage but to leave it unlocked.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Right?
what I recall.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we also told her ahead of time that she was free to roam around until we got there.
So I assume we
So-
put her in the cage and left the door unlocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lulu has been strangely quiet, and
Be
she,
quiet, Lulu.
when asked, she like takes a look at the armor on the ground and says, "Oh, I don't know. I mean, the symbol. That's Isanahead's symbol. I know that, and so I feel like I must know these people, but I just." I don't know. Like I said, my memory is so foggy these days.
Mm.
That's fair.
Well, we press on then.
Okay.
Okay. It is a while of treading through this forest and pulling bodies off of the trees with telekinesis and releasing their souls to whatever comes after this torment. But after some time, you come out into the clearing that these obsidian hills sit in. And there is essentially two paths that present themselves. A set of stairs that move, that descend downward and look like they might go into and under the hills,
Mhm.
and a set of double stairs on either side of that downward stair that go up to the top of the hill, where those wicked-looking steel chains are anchoring the papery mass to the hill. And standing at the top of the stairs going upward is a woman flanked on either side by those massive insect-like creatures, which now you can see them. They were probably at one point like this like fiery red color, but they seem to be their flesh seems all like sickly and withered at this point. The woman standing between them and kind of petting one of them with one hand and gripping a parasol that is made out of a femur,
Oh.
and then connected to 10 undead-looking claws that basically form the top of the parasol. And scowling down at you is a woman in a white dress with sort of short black spiky hair and this impassive scowl. And she just kind of looks at you and goes,
Is she close enough to register on my divine sense?
if you use your divine sense, there's certainly an aura of undeath coming from her direction, but
Okay.
it doesn't seem to be from her.
Okay, I'm gonna use my divine sense then.
Yes.
Since you just told me what would happen. Okay.
It's
So-
Feonor.
So she's not undead or a fiend.
But the insects on either side of her
Mhm.
and her parasol both register as undead.
The parasol?
Yeah, I'll
I have art for her.
Is
You
the
just, go ahead and roll
detect
and
magic
show you.
still up or has
You
it
guys
been
can
longer
pass
than
that
10
around.
minutes?
The detect magic can still be up.
Do I detect any magic? Leave it to you.
How do I do?
How do you always
did I-
do that?
What did you do?
I somehow got to a different. Okay, there it is.
He touches the screen and it
Yeah.
disappears.
There is
Oh my god, that's
sort of a
disgusting.
faint magic, I suppose, coming from the parasol. That's about it.
Yeah, and I'll like message Harmony at least to say
Oh, wow.
the
Ew.
parasol's also a fiend.
Undead.
The parasol's also undead. Yeah.
The parasol's also
Huh.
magic.
And
We,
are the insect things are fiends?
Undead.
Same.
They're all Sunday. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
When this is the first time you've used your earrings to talk to each other. Earrings? Are they all earrings?
They're all earrings.
Yeah.
They're
When you do so, you feel that same sense as if someone is overhearing your conversation as you did when you were talking to Lulu.
Okay. Fair
The
enough.
woman at the top of the hill is basically just scowling down at you, waiting for you to do something. She is like still as a statue.
I kick Mara in the shin. This is your deal.
Yeah.
Oh, is that her?
That's
Yeah,
so.
that's
Yeah.
Wake up, Mara.
Stop
Okay.
hoping.
Well, I just expected to be inside someplace. Greetings!
Her scowl shifts to the other side of her face.
Hey, we'd all like to buy you a drink.
She raises an eyebrow. Like dark black eyes just staring down at you.
Thaddeus also raises an eyebrow.
Someplace you have around here that's a watering hole?
She opens her mouth and it stays open for a good several seconds before she says, "Who?"
Maybe you should just cut to the chase.
Well, I expected a different scenario. I'd rather do this inside somewhere.
You
not
thought there was gonna be a
out in the
bar at a
open.
crypt?
Yeah, I thought there would be like a inside place.
Just go with it. Be
Ethan,
flexible.
I also want to use know your enemy, so tell me when like a minute passes.
Okay, sure. I can just give that to you now because I will forget otherwise.
Okay.
What sort of
I want to
information do you
know
want?
class levels,
Okay.
and I want to know.
It's class levels in comparison to yours.
Yes,
And you are 19
19. Are
now?
they
Lower.
okay? And then hit points. I have
Lower.
194. Okay.
Honestly, at this point, that doesn't tell you much.
Yeah, that's true.
No, that's fine.
You've got a ridiculous amount.
Well, the class level is what I was really interested in, so okay, that's fine. I'm done.
Here's what the insect-like creatures look like. They are just
I'll try not to.
undead versions of that.
Just don't touch this.
Okay, so force of habit, you'll have to excuse me. I'm
Mhm.
always
They're
looking for bars and places.
Yeah, yeah.
Beers.
So I
Beers.
introduced the
Beers.
group.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
After
And I
you
ask her.
finished saying everyone's names, she just sort of points to her chest and says, "Feonor," and then goes back to just holding the parasol with both hands.
Yeah, you're the one we're looking for. I forgot his name.
Hadi.
Hadi, there he is. Hadi's watering it for me. So, you know a dude named Hadi?
She nods.
Wow, she's
Solemnly.
really pleasant.
Yeah.
Well, he had
And
a.
her nod is accompanied by a as well.
Great.
Well, he asked us to bring this creature to you.
And her eyes kind of settle on the cage with Lulu. And she just gestures with her head, just a quick nod, up towards the floating mass above the hill. And then she leaps into the air, propelled upward by magic, and towards an opening at the bottom of the thing, and goes inside.
Oh my god.
And the wasps fly after her.
Alright, I guess we're delivering this into a creepy nest.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure our plan's gonna work anymore. Let's go.
The good news is that she's not a fiend, so it doesn't have to.
Does it
Oh, I see what
apply
you're
to
saying.
fiends?
This mark only applies to devils.
Oh.
Okay, so Feonor pieces out.
I think we're supposed to follow her, Mara.
Thaddeus, do you think we can get information about the defectors outside? She doesn't seem very talkative,
Yeah,
but
we may have to do our own digging as far as that goes, but we can ask.
yeah. If you want to.
I do.
Okay. Well,
I kind of don't want to jump
Can
in
you
there.
like use your scope to like we can see what it looks like inside that
I
thing?
can try. How far away is the fortification? Is it a castle or?
No.
It's a giant wasp.
Yeah, it's basically a giant wasp's nest
Oh,
that
gross.
is floating above the hills. And the reason that it is floating above the hills, which you can now see now that you're closer, is that those things that you saw at a distance that were wriggling in the papery substance that it's made up of seem to be the petrified yet still mobile forms of angels. There are like angel wings that are beating and keeping this thing up. Or are
Crazy.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
want
like
to see
this
that.
place.
I don't want to see this. This is gross.
But you look anyway.
Look. Ugh. Oh yeah, you can see them all over.
This is the fun thing about using stuff out of a published book is I can show you guys art for things.
It's
And
not
it's
just all in
awful.
your head.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Here it is.
Yeah.
Aww.
So going up towards the hill, the wasp nest that is floating above this hill, there are those spiky chains, but otherwise there's no other passage towards the
So we have
entrance
to
that she went into.
Walk along the chains.
Or find another way up.
How high up is it?
About 60 feet.
Oh, I mean that's not very much at all.
Yeah.
Well, I can fly.
Yeah, but you don't want to waste that on this.
I
do
can
you?
also shuttle people.
I mean,
And if you give me a while, I can.
If I
Summon-
tether,
Oh, is my
Pegasus.
sparkle?
if I
Yeah.
Are the
tether
chains-
Lulu, can she pull?
can we walk on the chains, or does it look like it's like a really bad idea?
I mean, you could, yeah.
So let's just walk up the chains.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The chain. You said that they're spiked. Would
Yeah.
be like. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's going to be difficult. You'll have to, like, it's not something you can just walk up. You'll have to make a check, but
Yeah.
it's
I see.
doable.
I mean,
Um,
I can just use my boots and just.
I'll try climbing up because I don't want to waste the spell for climbing on sparkle.
I can carry harmony
Because
really easily.
I mean, I can also probably morph into something that can carry someone.
Yeah.
Feonor didn't seem concerned about how you were going to follow.
Yeah. It's really just Dice who has to climb. I think.
Or is there? Wait,
Mm.
what's my telekinesis limit? 1,000 pounds.
Pull it down.
I was gonna say find a big slab of rock and I can ferry people up that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Or
doable.
put it up
Yeah.
next
Oh,
to it.
That's
okay,
not
that's
running a
doable.
spell slot.
Yeah.
Do that.
Okay. Yeah. Go for
That'd
it.
be great.
This is like some Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
nonsense.
This is
Is
great.
there
I love
like
it.
a-
Magnesis.
It
Yeah.
really is. It's like a slab of rock or like maybe one of the metal trees or something.
Yeah, I mean, roll a perception check.
Wait, is it 1,000 pounds? I can help you or do do perception.
Because that was an 8.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look too, you can roll one as well.
Please
Okay.
look at the wall.
I will look
Harmony,
as well.
you're like looking around for something.
I'm
Nothing
like-
is standing out.
So
Zant, let me
23.
find something.
Zant goes like around a boulder, and he's like, Harmony over or here, and like you go around the boulder, and there was a perfectly shaped like a slab that will fit like all of you standing on top of it,
Did you say
and it's
the?
just perfectly flat.
Yeah. The
Alright.
limit's 1,000 pounds.
Yes.
Okay.
So I might have to do it in 2 trips or something.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the 4 of us are at that. Well, the rock.
Plus
might
the
be.
rock.
Plus the rock
That's right.
and also
Probably
the
need to do
octo.
it in 2 trips.
In any
Okay.
case, that's fine.
I will go first, I guess.
Alright.
Yeah,
you
I'll
and,
go with him.
You and Mara.
Yeah.
And will I have to wait? What's my range on that? I can't remember.
And telekinesis.
Yeah. Will I have to ride up with them and then come back?
If any, okay, sure. Yeah.
Harmony
Doesn't
the
really matter.
elevator.
You're tiny. So,
I'm tiny. I don't weigh that much.
yeah.
All right. So I'll ferry them up.
Okay.
Come back.
Got a new nickname for her, Otis.
Thaddeus, when you get up to the entrance that Feonor went in and step off, and Zant went up with you?
Mara.
Mara, okay. The two of you see
The group's ambassadors.
it's much the same on
We're
the
in trouble.
inside as it is on the outside. It's just this sort of like wet, papery material. Um,
Hate wasps.
It being wet is just
yeah.
Yeah,
the
I
gross
know.
part.
Oh, I
That's
hate
the
everything
gross
about
part.
this place. I want to leave. I want to leave.
just
Reliving
imagine Donkey Kong
experience.
Country.
Oh,
That
no.
one level in Donkey Kong
Yeah.
Country inside the beehive.
Mm-hmm.
There is
It's much more pleasant. Honey everywhere.
It's not honey though.
I know. It
Because
is.
there is-
Pretend it's honey.
There
Ethan,
is, like,
stop.
assorted gear, like scraps of armor and people's backpacks and things like that, and various gore that seem to coat this layer of the wasp nest. And there are a group of 4 wasps that seem to be standing in this level of the structure and eyeing you as you come in.
Okay.
Feonor is nowhere to be seen, but you can see there are vertical passages that sort of twist upward into the nest.
Well, I'm not going to go further until I can wait for the others.
I go back down to get Xanth and Bianco. Hey, Xanth, do you think we need to go in there?
Yes.
I mean,
They're just gonna leave us.
I need to go in there.
Sure.
I mean, we've got Mara's. It's Mara's deal, and Fatty's a good talker, and like maybe they
Wow.
just the 2 of them.
Just like a pat army on shoulder.
It's
Okay,
just
we'll
really-
make it through this.
I don't know. I got a peek inside, and it looks real gross.
It's okay. We'll be all right.
Oh boy, I fear is up. Very reluctant.
You
That's
see
my
the same thing. There's various.
Confirmed.
Items.
Confirmed.
Wait, what?
What?
What'd you say?
She said that's my honey.
Oh.
Confirmed. Sorry.
Doesn't have to be reciprocated.
That's the most depressing.
Oh,
thing I've
I
ever
thought that was Melissa to K. I got you now.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
See?
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
At like just the worst possible moment for it too.
Yeah, it's not long before the 4 of you are standing up amidst the gore and scraps of clothing and equipment that litter this area.
Mhm.
Harmony and Xant, you see the same things that the others saw.
You have to go up. She's not down here.
Okay.
There's nothing else human here, right? It's all just these bugs.
Imagine trying to climb
There's
up with
signs of
pythons or pitons.
like human-ish things.
Yeah, or
but
humanoid, I guess.
They are scraps of bodies.
Right.
Is there anything that looks worth taking in the piles of armor?
Yeah, you want to give it a quick search?
Yes.
Search through the gore and
Yes,
scraps?
I do.
Sure.
Wait, what are you looking
roll
for?
investigation or perception, your choice.
It's the same.
Looking
so
to
it
loot the
doesn't matter.
bodies.
This would be
Oh.
investigation more likely, but
13.
you root around. There's not much that's usable. Most of it is pretty ruined or disgusting because it's covered in gore and more of this this papery substance.
I mostly am
Um,
using Mage Hand to move things, so I don't have to touch it.
You find 2 things which you could identify as healer's kits and a single soul coin.
Oh, great.
Yeah, just amidst, it was like clutched in
Are we all
like hand.
carrying
can
at
carry-
capacity?
No.
No, we can
we're
carry a
half
We
capacity.
can carry as many as 8.
I
and
mean,
think
like,
we have
I
6.
am and you are. Right?
We're only carrying
I'm
3
not.
total,
I'm
right?
not.
Yeah, I only have one.
I've only got one.
1. Or what? We only
I
have.
thought
thought we
I,
only
only
had
I
6.
thought I had one.
Okay, maybe I don't have
If
any.
we have 6, that means 2 of us
Wait,
has 2.
did we have 3 or
I
6?
have one
We had
soul
6.
coin
Okay.
written here.
So we can carry 2 more. Doesn't matter
2
who has
and
them.
2.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking is,
Yeah,
I
I'll-
can't pick it up.
I'll take one.
So I'll have to call somebody
yeah.
over.
Or if I only have 1, I don't know how many I had. So
I think you had 2.
Okay.
Because you grabbed 2 to begin with, and then you couldn't grab any more.
Yeah.
So I'll call Fatty over and I say, hey, looks like your deal with the
Okay.
legate, whatever,
You like it?
Like it?
legate, may not be so important after all. Look what I found.
Oh. Well, if we can keep this, let's keep it. But at least this will stop. Well, no, it'll never stop Carl from complaining. Will it?
No, probably not.
But
But
it'll-
it'll get us back
it'll
to the
get us out
river
of here.
sticks. Yeah.
Good, fine.
Mm-hmm.
The wasp
I also
eye
take
you.
one of the healing kits.
Okay.
And I stick my tongue out at a wasp.
Yeah,
Just
I had,
kind of like clicks its mandibles. They have mandibles.
I'm ready.
That's
all I'm ready
mandibles
for.
are like falling off.
We've
They're-
come full
they're like
circle.
sloughing off their faces. Though.
yeah,
That's all I'm ready for.
let's go.
I shoved one of the healer's kits in the bag of holding.
The what kits?
It's a healer's kit. We
Oh,
might
great.
need it.
Okay.
I don't know if we have one
Yeah,
already.
let me write down.
I don't know if anyone's proficient with one of those.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
How do you want to move up the vertical shafts?
Dude.
Oh, I thought you said that there were vertical paths upward.
Yeah, but there's no like ladder or
Oh.
stairs or
Everything was
anything
flying.
like that.
I guess I'll try and climb.
What's the diameter of these shafts?
They're wide because these big wasps have to fit through them.
Doesn't Pialko have a climbing speed?
Yeah, he does, so he's fine.
Maybe he could climb up. We could tie a rope to him, and then we can climb up after him.
Also, is it can you dig your hands into this
Mhm.
nest thing,
Yep.
so you can
Yep.
create okay, because I have climber's kit, so I can just create.
Oh, okay.
So does Mara.
Yeah.
I do too.
Of course we do.
So I was just saying that.
Yeah.
We've used
You
them
do
before.
have to get up close and personal with this wet
Ugh.
substance though, and
I'll just do it. I'll just take care of it for everybody.
Alright,
Are there
Gross, but-
purchases for my whip to grab onto?
not really.
I was thinking of swinging my legs.
Yeah.
So I guess if we need to, unless we can just punch through it and make our own,
You
or
probably could.
okay, maybe I'll just do that instead. Because if you could punch through it, then it's not gonna do anything to
Yeah.
hammer
Yeah, by fighting it.
fighting. Yeah, exactly. So
Alright, let's try and climb.
all right.
Or I'm gonna try and climb. Y'all can do whatever.
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna
want.
also
Okay.
climb. So
Thaddeus and Zan to begin the climb up.
Yeah.
You guys, the two of you who are still at the bottom, just hear the squelching noises of them as they're sticking their hands.
I look
could
around
also-
for something else I can use
yeah, you
as
can
a
also
platform.
just grab the rock, right, or the
Well,
slab.
I think
It
I
won't fit
figured
in.
I
I
left the
imagine-
slab outside.
Can you just break it a little bit?
I imagine my claws coming in really handy right
It
now.
is,
Just
yeah.
break it to a disc or something,
It
and
sinks
then
in
like an
really
elevator.
well. The
No.
dagger-like
I'm not
nature.
sure. I don't think I can break it.
Just
Probably. It's a large slab of rock.
smash it in the ground.
No, I'm not gonna do that. We're already inside the hive.
The two of you climb up into the next level of the hive, which seems to be
I'm looking for something.
the
to write
walls
up,
are basically covered with
elevator.
these octagonal cells.
You want to ride up with me?
And you can see that curled up in some of these octagonal cells are about 8 more wasps.
You.
But there's nothing really else on this level, so you probably could just keep climbing up to the next one.
So seeing there's some distress downstairs, I'll come back down and offer Harmony a ride.
Well, before he does that, while he's climbing, I go over to one of the wasps and I say, "Can you understand me?
Can't.
Do you understand common?"
I need to pull up the stuff.
Actually, I'm speaking in infernal to it.
You can try several.
Are you feeling a little waspish?
If only,
How big are
I can tell you that as soon as I have the stuff in front of me.
Yeah, we got Zantman and then the wasps.
That was,
Gross.
Oh, it's so bad.
they are large, so they're probably
So they're big enough
10
for me
feet
to
Don't write that
from
down.
mandibles to stinger.
Okay.
They have these
I'm
massive
on top too.
wings made of papery material. You speak to it in infernal.
Yeah. I'll say, "Can you understand me?" If you can understand me, land on the ground.
Lands on the ground.
Oh. Will you take me up to the top, please?
It kind of moves closer to you and just kind of looks at you.
I very cautiously reach out and pat his head.
It flares its stinger up at you.
I cast suggestion on it.
Okay.
And I say in infernal, "Give me a ride to the top of the hive."
Okay. It's not gonna pass. What is suggestion? Wisdom?
Yes.
It failed. It kind of kneels down, and as it does so, you get a good look at its feet, and its feet are almost sharpened to the point of they look like swords, basically. And it kind of bends down for you to sit on its hairy back.
Awesome. I climb on its back.
Almost
And
as disgusting though as climbing.
I climb on its back and I'm like, "Hey Mara, I'll see you up there."
And the wings just beat to life, and it shoots up past the two of you
Yeah.
and up to
Hi guys!
up to the third level of the hive where it lands.
Is Feonor here?
Yes.
Awesome.
I think so. There on this level there are angels at like points around the room facing inward, but their chests look like they have exploded
Oh,
outward.
gross.
Gross.
And they're like their faces are sort of like petrified in masks of horror.
Is there a
Pain.
pillar close to the hole that I can like anchor a rope to,
Pillar? No, not really.
or something?
Yeah, that's what I asked.
Something I can
about
anchor a rope to.
about the whip. He said no.
Well, I'm at the top though. I'm saying in this room.
There
near the
is
hole.
pretty near one of the pathways down a heavy-looking wooden table upon which Feonor has books and papers laid out, and scrolls and like jars of black demon ichor, which you recognize at this point, and other foul substances. And then in another corner, there's like a small bed. And Feonor is seated on the bed, sort of with her legs crossed, still holding her parasol. And standing on either side of the room, sort of just watching you come up, are two skeletal-looking figures in like tattered robes that just kind of like look at you. So like rise up, and then they just kind of eye you. But yeah, there's that table you could.
I
tie
hop
right
off
to
the wasp and I say, "Thanks, buddy," in Infernal, and then I'll go and tie the rope to the table, and I'll like lower it down to the boys
Okay, yeah.
and Mara.
Rope comes down.
Oh.
Come on up! And then I'll
Great.
turn to Feonor and be like, "It'll be just a second."
Is the rope easier than what we're doing already?
I'll climb the rope.
Yeah, I think the rope's for you.
I mean, it's not easier necessarily,
It's just cleaner.
just cleaner.
Yeah.
I'm used
At
to
this
it.
point, we're already covered,
cares?
right? Like
Yeah,
it's just
I'm
like
fair.
whatever. Yeah, we're gonna keep doing our thing. Mara can use the rope. Stay
Everyone
clean.
gets up to the third level of the hive.
Just like, God. Ugh.
Prestidigitation.
Thank you.
Prestidigitation.
Mm.
Leave you this in.
Yeah. Expected it, but wow.
Prestidigitation.
Thank you.
Feonor sets her parasol on her lap, and the claw, the like rotten hands that formed the top of the parasol close inward on the femur bone, and she just kind of rests it to the side of the bed, and then crosses her arms and stares at the group of you with a scowl on her face.
All right, well, make your delivery.
Well, I grabbed Lulu's cage. Is it noticeable that it's unlocked?
I mean, the door's still shut.
Wait, can I pause for a second? So, out of character, just want to make sure we're all, because I want to make sure I got all the plan correct. So, make the delivery, seal the deal, and then we telepathically tell Lulu go or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going with.
But somebody's listening.
I think so.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's
The
not,
person that's
it's-
listening is
it's
not.
a hag,
Mahadi,
not
so
a-
I
it
don't think it's
doesn't
Fiona.
matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Is there an opening for Lulu to escape out of?
On this level?
Yeah.
Like out a window or something, or is there like a?
There are some openings that it looks like something as small as Lulu might be able to fit through.
Okay. Then that's the plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And if it doesn't work?
Then we're all at full health.
Okay. All right. I'm just checking. All right. Cool.
I'm not
good.
at full.
I'm good now. Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
Almost there, but I'm not there.
Oh, I see. I see.
Okay, so I will put Lulu down on the table.
Okay. Feonor comes over to the table, looks at Lulu, looks at the cage, and flips the latch to locked, and takes the cage and sort of sets it in the middle of the room, and then crosses her arms and looks at Lulu, and Lulu kind of gives you a panicked look, like she wasn't supposed to notice it was locked.
Yeah.
She rolled a really high perception check.
Oh.
It's fine.
Okay.
I still have telekinesis, y'all, and mage hand.
Oh, we also have a rogue who can sneak over.
Doesn't even need a roll.
And unlock it.
You were against this plan, though. Anyway.
Well,
No,
good luck.
you-
It's up to you then.
I don't want to be in trouble with the group.
You're probably the best person to do it.
Yeah.
The highest. You're proficient in sleight of hand, so you're right.
So I
Yeah.
look at Harmony with one of our looks that says, "I need you to cause a disturbance."
Mm-hmm.
They've got
This
this
is
whole
like-
thing down at this point.
Yeah.
and then I roll my eyes and tilt my head because of this one.
I would like to imagine this conversation. We're not actually telepathically communicating. It's just like it's just gestures.
It's just like these
So
chants.
I go over to
Yeah,
the table.
Exactly.
I go over to the table with all of our odds and ends, and I start looking at the stuff over there. I'm like speaking really loudly, like, "Wow, this is some really interesting stuff. What is this?" And I just pick up a bottle of something, like really hamming it up, like I might drop it at any moment.
She gives you a scowl and says, but then she goes back to examining Lulu, and she kind of walks around the cage and pulls out from her robes a big syringe with like a needle point on the end and jabs it into Lulu, and then just pulls up the stopper, and it fills with blood. And Lulu lets out like a cry as she does this, and then she kind of looks at the stopper, puts it back in her robe, and then just sort of like points to Lulu and says, "I'm done."
Can we take the elephant with us?
You don't need it anymore?
She gives it like a slow, scowling nod towards Thaddeus.
Okay.
Interesting.
Thaddeus takes the cage.
I'm like still holding the bottle that I took off of the table.
Yeah, Thaddeus takes the cage.
As you take the cage, she seems to have
down
lost
from her.
interest in the group of you for the moment.
Uh-huh.
She goes over to the angels that sort of line this room with like their chests burst out, and sort of crosses her arms and scowls at them for a minute, and then pulls out the syringe again and jabs it into one of them, and then pushes a little bit of the blood in. And as she does that, the angel, which was still and statuesque, moves a little and pulls its arm free of the papery goo, and you can see that attached to its arm are these like horrible long-looking like chains, and it just pulls that out, and then pulls itself completely free, and it's got these kind of like tattered black feathery wings attached to its back, and it just kind of like then stands there still, and she moves over to the next angel, but she seems to not be paying any attention to you guys.
Can I check out the stuff that's on the table while she's distracted?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
So there was obviously a bottle of demon ichor there, which I don't care about, but what else was there? What looks valuable or interesting or useful?
Roll a perception check.
Sure. Oh, natural 20!
Dang.
22.
22. Of the things on the desk, most of them are the scrollings of some kind of wizard, right? It's like formulated arcane designs, and they're kind of gibberish to someone who does magic like you.
It's not like a spell scroll that could be utilized by someone like me.
No. But not on the desk, sort of across the room by her bed while you're trying to find a way to like wreak havoc in this room. You spot something just inside the papery wall, as if it was like placed in there and then gummed over. Like there's like a pouch or something.
I make meaningful eye contact with Mara, and I look over at the wall.
Okay. I'll stealthily make my way over to it.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
Do I need
She
to?
is now on the third angel, just jabbing it with Lulu's, the syringe of Lulu's blood.
I want to cast Cure Wounds at just a level 1 on Lulu.
Okay.
Do you have her like in your arms? Or
Yeah.
you're holding her.
Yeah.
So cute.
Maybe I'll see how much damage the syringe even would have done to her.
Well, I feel like taking the blood out might have done some damage.
14.
So how much does she heal?
After around 11 HP.
Okay, yeah, that puts her back up to
So
full.
like H.
What?
Are you from the UK? Did you say H?
HP?
Yeah,
Maybe,
I think you said that.
Maybe
yeah.
I
totally
did.
11
HP.
HP. It's like
I think it was one of the things where I start to say, I don't know what happened.
Health?
Health, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like
Or hit.
HP, yeah.
Hail
Yeah.
GP.
Yeah.
She's absorbed in her work and doesn't seem to notice you moving across the room, Mara.
Nice.
Okay, so I will stealthily remove it.
Okay.
Remove what?
You.
The thing I saw on the wall.
Oh, okay.
How are you? I mean, it is like inside
got
the wall,
daggers?
basically. Like, are you gonna cut it out? What's
Yeah,
the
well, I
plan?
have like carpenter's tools too, so I'm thinking that there's something in there
Like a
that
chisel
can
or
just
something
kind
like
of,
that?
yeah, scoop it out
Hammer?
or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's when you scoop it out of the wall, and there's like a small squelch, but she doesn't notice it. A small pouch falls into your hands, and when it hits your hand, it's like a bowling ball.
Oh,
Oh.
it's soul
It
coins.
drops to the ground.
Oh gosh.
And there's a loud clank, 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 clank,
Oh,
clank,
gosh.
as 8 soul coins roll onto the floor.
Ah.
And she turns around and says, "Stop."
Oh, sorry, I bumped it with my elbow.
And she gives you just this withering glare.
Hides the chisel.
Yeah, we'll go now.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Is there something I can swipe off the table? The desk. I
All the
mean.
things I told you that are there, like scrolls,
Nothing
books,
I want.
jar
There's
of
no like
demon
health
ichor.
potions or anything. Okay. Let's go.
Let's just go. I want to check out the downstairs.
Sure. You didn't want to ask
Yeah,
her or
this is
anybody
obviously
about that.
not the crypt of the Shattered
Right.
Gibbous.
I was gonna
This
say
is-
you could
This
also.
is the screwed up wasp nest of Feonor.
I have a question. Do the angels have like armor that would signify what deity they serve? Is it Asana or is
Good
it?
question. They were sort of gummed into the walls before, so you
But
couldn't
they-
see. But when they've pulled their way out,
Mhm.
it does look like maybe at one point they had symbols of the gibbous on their armor, but it has been like defaced with like scratches and things like that, such that it looks like the gibbous moon has like fractured.
Is it the same armor that the people were wearing? Okay.
Mhm.
I'm like, Shadys, you could ask the
Mm-hmm.
angels if you wanted to.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll speak to one of the angels in Celestial.
Okay, its head kind of creaks
Yeah.
towards you. What do you say?
What do you know of Asanahin's sword?
It looks at you with dead eyes, as if it doesn't understand what you just said.
Oh,
Try Infernal.
yeah. I'll let me ask in Celestial one time. Do you speak Celestial? Nothing. Okay.
Oh,
I'll ask in Infernal. What do you know of Zariel's or of Asanahin's sword?
Yeah, you get the same dead look.
Okay.
They're probably undead then, like
Probably just
all the other
puppets.
things.
Let's go. Split
Okay.
Yeah,
the
you can
screen.
go.
Let's go.
All right.
Is the contract? Is there any way to know that the contract has been fulfilled?
Oh, yeah. I guess I do want to ask Feonor. Feonor.
Kind of-
Sorry.
She's at the last angel, and
Yeah.
she's got the last bit of Lulu's blood in there, and she's
Yeah.
about to jab the syringe into this thing, and she gives this exasperated,
Do you,
and then turns around and looks at you.
do you understand that it was Mahadi who gave you this blood?
She gives him like a nod and just goes,
All right. Our business is done.
Okay. She's not going to give me anything to prove it.
and then
so-
she jabs the
Well, the
syringe into the
contract
final
was
one
what?
as you descend down
Yeah.
the Hell Wasp Nest.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. My question was: is there a way to know by looking at the contract if it's been fulfilled or not?
We did everything we said.
Do
we
you
would
have a
do.
copy of the contract?
Or was it just signed and left with Mahadi?
I think Mara would have taken proof
If,
with
if
her.
you wanted a copy of it, you could have had a copy of it.
Yeah.
And when you inspect it, after you get down to the bottom of the Hell Wasp and are standing back on the top of the hill, its edges have begun to burn. But it's not. It won't like light anything else on fire. Like it's contained to the paper, and it's just burning slowly inward until the thing just kind of fizzles out.
Woohoo!
into
Okay.
All right. You're clear.
All right.
Clear. We're
Okay,
clear.
the best scenario.
And we've got Lulu.
That went better than I thought. Yeah,
Man, I feel like we really overplanned for that.
we really did.
We're not out of the nest yet, guys.
Yeah. I'll
Yeah,
say
I
I'll say
know.
to Lulu, listen, I apologize for everything that
Ouch!
happened.
That hurt.
But I know. Well, you're better now. It's okay. I apologize for all that, but you're free to go if you want. But I would encourage you to stay with us. We can protect you.
Well, we had this conversation already, right?
Did we?
about if she would come with us to go meet Zariel.
Oh,
Lulu and I are best friends.
It's been a
now.
couple weeks. I don't remember what the outcome of that conversation was.
She said she would.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
She said, if there's a chance, I think it was like, if there's a chance I can get to see my best friend again,
Yeah.
I will gladly.
Yeah. Then I'll
Yeah.
just open up the cage and say, Lou, you're free.
She kind of hops out, stretches her little elephant wings,
cute.
and then looks up at Thaddeus with like big blue eyes, and says, kind of sheepishly, "I'm really sorry that I misjudged you at first and called you mean."
It's okay.
And she opens up the telepathic communication with all of you and says, "I'm sorry, all of you, that I called you mean. It was really nice of you to get me out of there."
Half my friends think I'm mean.
Well, that's not... Friends don't think that their friends are mean. That's not what friendship is.
Yeah, he's mean. Yeah.
She doesn't seem to pick up on the joke. Like she gets really flustered. She's like, "What? No, you misunderstand. If you're friends with him, you must understand that he's a good person. Otherwise, you wouldn't be friends, right?"
This is going to be a long conversation. Let's
Yeah,
keep going.
yes.
And as you begin to turn around and walk away,
Oh, I knew it wasn't gonna be that simple.
Well, hang on.
Lulu stops moving for a second. She just kind of like is staring off into the mid-distance, and then she says, after just a few brief moments, she says, "Oh, I think I've remembered something. Oh, yes, I am. It's, but it's not good.
Uh,
I just remembered the last time I saw Zariel," and she begins to cry a little.
Tell us, Lulu.
No, I mean, I'm okay. It's just, I remember now that the Zariel I knew, the one I was friends with, that she's gone, and she's been replaced by an evil devil with a halo of fire and vengeance. And I just remembered last time I saw her, I was trying to go to her, and she grabbed me and she threw me aside and said, "This is who I am," she told me. "When demons die, they cry out my name in terror." And those were the last things she said to me before she flew away.
Well,
I just wipe Lulu's eyes a little bit with his sleeve.
Yeah, she's just like sniffling from her trunk.
your red demon
Yeah.
claw.
Getting ready to become a papa.
Well,
We still have to meet Zariel, and maybe we can.
yeah, I mean, even if that's true, we can be your friends.
She sniffles and kind of like blows a little bit of snot out of her trunk. And
A
then
little
she
bit of
says,
snot and some sparkles.
a few sparkles do come out. It's
Yeah.
true. She just says, "I think I'd like that."
Zach can make good berries every day for you.
The little
Thanks,
ones
Mara.
that tasted nasty.
They don't normally.
Wait till you get back to where we're from. They taste great there.
Plus filling.
Yes.
What's Dawn gonna say when you bring home a new pet?
I think she'll be delighted.
Who's Dawn?
A very good friend of mine.
Oh, well, I hope I do get to meet them. If they're friends with you, they must be nice. That's
She's
how
the
friendship
nicest-
works.
She's the nicest
And she
person
kind
I've
of
ever met.
seems to perk up again. Like she's got her spirit, her pep.
All right.
back.
That's the
how
way, Lulu.
friendship works. Trademark.
Quote for the Lulu page.
All right.
Stamp of Lulu. Who got Lulu's stamp of approval now?
So, was there something else you wanted to look at here in the crypt, or can we go?
I want to go into the actual crypt because we haven't been to the crypt yet. We've just been to the horrifying wasp nest.
Yeah, I was imagining there'd be a city.
The crypt is down.
The crypt
I
is
assume?
down. Yeah, I assume. But let's go down.
Okay.
Sure.
If you go down the stairs that led to the top of the hill and then turn around the corner and go down the steps that sort of descend in towards the hill.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What was the deal with that big war machine we saw at the top of the hill?
Yes, that's still parked there. You can see sort of like seated in the driver's seat, just kind of like idly swatting at a swarm of flies is an undead, like humanoid creature, which I think you would recognize. I think you've seen them before.
Mhm.
You would recognize as a ghoul. But sort of written on the side of the war machine is, and this is a much bigger war machine than the one you came here in. Written on the side of it is, where's the name of this thing? I have it here. My note for hell is already way too big.
Make peace, not war.
In hell? Are you kidding?
An infernal.
That's why it
Yeah.
would be ironic.
I think it'd be the reverse of that.
Oh, there it is. No, it's not in my notes. It's in the Descent into Avernus book. That's why.
Oh, okay.
There we go. It is called the Golden Doom, and it's this like gold gilded massive war machine that has basically a big like claw on the front that looks like it is on mechanical hinges that would chomp. And then it also has a wrecking ball on the back, and its wheels, and there's 6 of them, 3 on each side, look like basically chainsaw blades.
I love this Mad Max place that we're in. It's
Yeah.
great.
And then it has stations for harpoon flingers on it as well.
Are
let's
we
just
gonna
go-
try to steal it?
I mean,
It runs on soul coins.
It runs on soul
too,
coins.
so
We did just get
yeah.
another one.
but I would feel bad about stranding Carl, or not Carl, yeah, kind of sucks. But Simon and Cecilia,
I mean, they can just get in that one.
They're out of fuel. Oh.
they're out of fuel. They don't have any coins.
Well, we
We've
just
got
have
the
our
coins.
own, and they could
I was gonna say we give them a ride in this one.
upgrade.
Well, let's just go with the one we've got.
Okay, sure.
Upgrade
Yeah, we
model.
don't really need a bigger
Yeah.
We can at least check that
We're not
one
gonna be
on the
with
way
it
out,
for
right?
much longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's check out the crypt.
Okay, sure.
As you descend down the stairs the other direction that go in towards the hill and look like they might go under it, you find yourself facing okay. You find yourself at the top of a set of steps, and going down the steps, you see what is basically, it looks like sort of like the entrance to a burial barrow or something like that. But there is a slab of heavy white marble that covers the entrance. And it has the image of an angel with a fiery halo engraved into it against a backdrop formed by the shape of a cracked and fragmented gibbous. It's also cracked.
Okay. Is there any like handle or any door?
No, it almost seems as if there's
Crapped.
no way to move this. There's like no handholds.
Telekinesis.
You just want to try and lift it up.
Push it. Or is it a
Forward.
lift or a roll or a push open or
No
It
detect
looks like
magic
it would
first?
probably be a lift.
then telekinesis.
The thing begins to rise up off the ground, but as it does, a flash of light erupts in the area. Need each of you to make a save.
Okay.
Constitution saving throw. You all get Thaddeus's bonus.
Yep.
Oof. I'm gonna use my wild magic. Tides of Chaos. And
24.
Not at all better. Sorry, what's your bonus?
+5.
5. 18.
12.
18 from Harmony,
12.
12 from Thaddeus,
21.
21 from Mara,
24.
24. So all of you pass except
Except for
for
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus. and Dave.
Sorry.
Did Bianco roll?
Oh, no. Let's see if Bianco is
And
with
does
Patty.
Lulu have to roll?
Bianco passed.
I want you to look at my saving throws and note how many saves that I have been failing lately. in
Lulu
these
will
sessions.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
How are they all so high? Oh, have you already added your bonus
Yeah,
in there?
it's just
I
factored
see.
in already.
I see.
Lulu also fails. Poor Lulu.
Oh.
So I'll have to track her hit points here.
Bianco pass.
Bianco rolled
This-
higher than me.
Blast of light erupts, and as it hits each of you, it sears your body with like almost like fire, but it is just pure light. Each of you is going to take a bunch of necrotic damage, which I will roll.
Oof.
Not
Right.
necrotic, radiant.
Oh, I was
Oh, I
gonna
was
say,
like, wow,
that's
light radiant damage?
interesting.
Hopefully Lou's like immune to that.
16.
Or resistant.
That were resistance.
She might be. I'm not.
Just wasting that. Alright, that could have been much worse. So 41 radiant to those who failed, or 20 radiant to those who passed. And Lulu goes unconscious.
Oops.
She's not resistant or anything?
The light connects with her. She lets out a scream, ah! And then when the light fades,
Hang on.
she is completely unconscious.
Hang on. I can fix that. I can as a reaction. I can use my shield. I think. I don't know if that works or not.
On a
Oh,
saving
yeah.
throw thing?
When they go to 0 HP.
Oh.
Let's see.
That would work.
It's not in. Do you remember how this works? Oh, here it is. I can expend 2 charges to use up. Oh, I don't have any lay on hand, so I can't do that. I use all of it. Okay. I'll just cast Cure Wounds again on Lulu.
Or we can just give her a good berry as well.
Okay. Lulu's eyes flutter back open as the healing magic courses
Pretty good.
through her.
Take 12.
Okay. And she says, "Oh, thank you." And then she sort of looks over towards the slab that Harmony is lifting up off of the ground, revealing a dark space beyond. And she says, "But there's a symbol that's still glowing on that." And it seems to be charging another blast
Oh,
of
let's
radiant
let's
light.
go.
I put it down. I closed the door real quick.
Close the door real quick.
Yeah. Is it still charging?
Let me see. Yeah, it still seems to be charging up again.
Sadie, do you have any Dispel Magic prepared today? By chance?
I might. I don't know if that'll do anything here. I do have it prepared. I have
You
one.
said this is a marble.
It's a magic effect.
Yeah.
It's from the door, right?
But there's like a symbol that is now
It was
visible
a
on the
magic
door that
effect.
is pulsing
I
with
would
light.
have had advantage anyway,
On what?
right? It's a magical effect.
Yeah,
but you
on your
passed.
save. But you
Yeah.
passed anyway.
Well, but I used
Oh.
Tides of Chaos,
Oh, okay.
and I didn't have to.
Sure.
So, are you going to try to dispel? Do you have it prepared?
I do have it prepared.
Yeah, why don't you try to dispel it then?
Sure.
I can also try
And if that doesn't work, then we'll
slash it.
just jump underneath.
Yeah.
It's a
Saying.
solid marble.
I have Kusanagi.
I think that
It's
might
really
be.
weird for you to just.
I don't think we
jump
should do it
in
that
and
way. I'm gonna cast
lift it
Dispel
with
Magic.
Okay. Roll a charisma. check.
Detecting.
Okay. Hopefully this goes better than my last hand. Oh, that's pretty good. 24.
24. The symbol
Mhm.
fades
Oh,
just
great.
as it was about to pulse out again.
Uh-huh.
You gather that if you hadn't dispelled it, you would have been rolling saving throws again.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I've been using a lot of magic.
What was the charisma check for?
When I tried to remove the curse on my hand.
Oh no, just now.
Just now.
Oh,
It's
it's just now?
because Dispel Magic gets up to 3rd level spells,
Mhm.
but this was higher than 3rd.
But I thought your spell casting was wisdom. Or is it charisma?
It's charisma.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's why my charisma is so high.
Oh.
So you find yourself once again faced with this marble slab that has the picture of the angel with the fiery halo carved into it.
I
But the symbol has faded.
cast Detect Magic.
Nothing appears.
Okay.
I open the door again.
Alright,
Whoops, sorry guys. I was just getting a little excited.
yeah. Maybe remember to check for traps.
Hey!
Hey.
Detect Magic.
Once the slab is fully up and you get a chance to look inside and let your eyes adjust to the darkness, you see 4 stone memorial slabs that stand in a wide hallway. and each one seems to be engraved with small writing that you can't quite make out at this distance, but it covers the entire slab. Adorning the wall across from those slabs is a carved relief showing a solemn blindfolded angel on the back of a like a giant mammoth with feathered wings. The mammoth is reared up on its hind legs, and the angel holds a sword high above her head. All around them, at their feet, are the bodies of fallen knights and broken devils.
Okay. I'll go inside. I'm gonna light the way with my sword.
Okay. Your sword's light sort of casts eerie shadows around the room, and this place smells like musky death and decay. It's very dank in here, and there's like a layer of dust on everything.
I'm following. Detect magic is still up.
Let's get a map of this place though.
Okay, so I'm going after you.
I hope we don't die down here.
I hope we don't die anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can expand it out to 30 feet and 30 more feet of dim light.
Yeah, so that illuminates most of the room, and you can see this room is largely empty except for those large memorial slabs that are carved with writing of some kind, and then there are two arched hallways on either side of the room that go left and right, essentially, out of this big hall that you're in.
I want to see if I can read one of the slabs, or one of the yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. They are engraved with what looks to be hundreds of names. Names that seem human, elvish, various different lineages, but largely dominated by human and elvish, I think. And etched atop the upper edge of each of the slabs is a line in Celestial that says, "Here lie the fallen, may their souls echo here until the end of time."
Okay, so do we want to explore the hallways? Do we want to split up?
We could.
Save time.
I don't know if splitting up is a great idea.
What exactly are we looking for down here? Just
That's a great
I'm
question.
hoping to find a clue to the location of the sword.
okay. I think who did the research on the sword?
You.
Was it me or was it? I know multiple people were researching, right?
I
wasn't sure who
researched
did it.
tags and shit.
Okay, so I'll stay with Thaddeus, because then I think with his knowledge of the sun and my, research, then
Yeah.
we can have a good chance of finding something.
Yeah.
But
Okay. And
And
y'all
then
can
we'll
just
have
look for stuff to steal.
no chance. Well, I mean, what's the point of that though? Like, if we're looking for, shouldn't you guys split up so that each team has someone that has
I mean, we can do
knowledge?
that too.
Yeah, let's go for
Wanna
that.
do-
If we're
wanna
gonna
split up?
if we're
Okay,
gonna
sure.
split up.
Yeah.
Are we? Okay, that's fine.
I was just thinking to save time.
I mean, I don't know if it's a great idea, but
I don't think there's.
Mara, why don't you go with Xanth since you've got the tremor sense stuff going on? You don't need the light to see.
I don't need the light to
Sans,
see either, Mister.
I
I
need the
have
light
dark
to see.
vision.
Since you are such a good tracker, you would notice that though this area is mostly covered in like a thin layer of dust,
Mm-hmm.
there is a set of footprints, and it's the same set of footprints, and it goes both directions. It looks like a figure, the same figure each time, has traversed this crypt, and they've gone either direction. Like at one time they went one way, one time they went another
And there's
way.
only two ways.
Yeah, but it is a set of like heavily armored boot prints, basically.
Okay.
But they always tread either left or right. But it looks like they've been back and forth in here several times.
Okay. I'll relay that information. Feonor wasn't wearing any boots, any heavy boots.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I wonder who it was.
Zariel, probably.
Maybe.
Or one of her lieutenants.
Maybe. Okay, well, I mean, that means we might want to check both then. There's
Okay.
reason to go either way,
Yeah.
right? Or both ways. So.
Okay.
So are we splitting up?
Are we?
I don't think we should, honestly. let's just go left first.
Yeah, we just
Okay.
or just stick together. It's fine.
I think sticking
Okay.
together is a smarter idea.
Sure.
I never thought I'd agree with Thaddeus on anything, but here we are.
You make your way down the left hallway, and Thaddeus' sword illuminates the way ahead of you. Eventually, it comes to a corner and turns right, and the hallway continues down for a long ways. But you can see ahead of you, just out of the edge of Thaddeus' sword light, there's alcoves on the left and right sides of the hallway. Like these maybe like 10-foot wide by 10-foot wide alcoves. You can't quite see what's in those alcoves, but they are ahead of you, like maybe 30 feet, just at the edge of the sword light.
If you release your sword, will it turn dark immediately, or will it still glow?
As long as I'm conscious, it should glow.
All right, let go for a second.
All right.
I grab it with telekinesis, and I kind of bring it down the hall to light up the
Oh,
alcoves,
the sword?
so
Yeah.
we can see.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the sword light glints off a large, sort of round metal object in one of the alcoves that seems to be filling it. Someone can make a perception check to see what it might be.
Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone looks at his hand and his robot eyes.
Oh
do
no!
you wanna help me?
Oh no!
Is perception a skill that can be helped?
Yeah, I mean, we're
I'll
all
look-
I'll
looking
look
together.
too. I've got a pretty good one.
Alright, that's better. It's a 23 for me.
23, okay.
Oh my god.
So, with Mara's help, you're kind of
Oh,
like trying
yeah.
to puzzle over what this glint is.
Later.
And Mara kind of like comes over to your shoulder, and you're trying to work it out together, and you come to the conclusion it must be a large burial urn.
Okay.
Comes over to your shoulder, whispers in your ear. Do you let her?
Tomato red. God. Love you guys.
Sorry.
You're the best. Everyone here's the best.
I
Hi.
said it first today.
Okay. Yes, I let her.
Confirmed!
What do you think it
Because
is?
I let her whisper in my ear. Who cares?
What does it look like?
Whispering.
What does it look like?
Burial
Wait, so
urn.
it looks like an urn?
Burial. urn.
Huh. Okay.
I like tap it with the sword before bringing the sword back to Thaddeus.
Do that?
Just like,
Or like a
just
patch of cold forms on the edge of it, and then
Yeah. Also, it's not a metal sword.
I don't know what I was expecting.
I mean it's a cold lightsaber basically. So
I bring it back.
Okay. That just takes it.
That was cool. I've always wanted to
Literally.
kind of wield
the other
that
thing that you spot, Xant, with your perception
Mhm.
check, I completely forgot about this, is going down the hall towards the burial urn. There are like wires, very thin wires across the hallway, crisscrossing at like varying heights.
How does the heavy booted figure move around these obstacles?
It's
Does their footsteps, do they have a path they normally take,
it's a
or is
little
it,
unclear. It almost looks like they just march through.
they just go on through?
Yeah.
Weird. Huh. That is really weird.
And as you sort
They
of
must be really short, like a Harmony.
move a little bit
No,
to like
not short
inspect these thin wires, you see that they're actually like not physical wires at all. They're like ethereal a little bit.
Wow. So
Strange.
so much for disarming the traps.
Yeah. Do we have an idea of what their purpose is?
Your perception check was what? 23?
Yeah.
It looks like there's a mechanism on the walls of some kind, as if like the walls might slide one direction.
So slide?
Yeah. Just try to avoid these.
Are they easy to avoid, or is it like not possible?
They could be avoided. Since you've spotted them, each of you can make a dexterity saving throw at advantage as you try and walk through here.
saving throw?
Yeah.
Or
Me,
do we have a way of disarming them? Disarming it?
Actually, I guess it's not a saving throw. It'd be an acrobatics check.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I was thinking.
At advantage or not?
At advantage.
Okay.
I have plus
Wanna try and
17
disarm
to
it?
acrobatics.
Or do we want to?
No,
Yeah,
you
well,
don't
you're
have
fine.
to roll.
Did you
You
say
actually
17?
don't have to roll.
A plus 17.
Do we want to try and disarm it, or just walk? Or
I don't. I
we
wouldn't
don't know how
to
to
begin.
disarm it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
just go
Lulu
through
just
it.
says, "This is really spooky."
Yeah, stick close to us a little bit.
Okay.
Alright,
Yeah.
Like
go.
Cooper.
Give it a shot.
All right, advantage of my.
That's not Sly Cooper. That's
I almost
Trump.
wish it was a deck save because then
Oh,
I could
yeah.
have some bonus on.
That's right.
That's
That's
like
fine.
Cooper. It's like Cooper.
Well,
seven-
it'll be a save if you don't do well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
a 17, which is better than I rolled on any
Natural
franchise.
20!
Another one.
That's
Wow.
the same die that rolled my 20 earlier.
Keep it.
Yeah.
I got a dirty 20.
Alright,
So
and Mara
22.
doesn't have to roll. So it's down
Amazing.
to Lulu.
So we know at least
Can we
the
just like
17
carry
will be
Lulu?
in.
Is Lulu small? Can we just like carry her with us?
Lulu is harmony sized. So you could carry Lulu with you if you want.
All right.
Do you want to?
Sure. I mean, if that'll make her not trigger the trap.
Probably should have done a straight roll instead of advantage, but that's okay for this time. Yeah,
Okay.
you can just carry her through.
Well, in that case, Mara should carry her.
That's
right?
true.
That's
Yeah.
So that's what maybe
Yeah.
maybe retroactively we'll have Mara carry Lulu because she's just that good. So
The group of you
So
sort
now
of
we're Marilu.
yes.
with Xant's help, since Xant has already like spotted these spectral like wires that kind of crisscross the chamber. With Xant's help, you manage to nimbly weave your way through the wires without stepping onto any of them, and Lulu is just basically like quivering the entire time.
You
But-
have got it so bad.
You make your way to these alcoves, and you can see that each one of the alcoves, there's two on your
Oh.
left side and one on your right side, are filled, are like contain one of these like large burial urns. Let me see if there's anything special about these burial urns. They themselves look to be rather plain. They're made of maybe iron or something like that. But Xant, with your passive perception, because you're
Tell
so
me about
perceptive,
it. Tell me about it.
you see that behind the urn on the right, the wall seems to be concealing some secret there.
Man, we don't even need to roll.
You know?
We're so good.
Well, we
Your
are level
your passive
19.
perception's like what?
23.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I also
Yeah.
I took the observant feat,
Yeah.
so I mean that
Yeah,
helps
yeah,
a lot.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So I'll point that out and be like, oh,
But the hallway also continues forward, and it looks like it opens up into a wide chamber. ahead of
Okay.
you. And that's the direction that the blueprints go.
yeah, okay. Do you want to deal with this thing behind the urn first?
I would like to see the secret.
Okay. So we'll approach it.
Okay. You kind of have to squeeze behind the urn, but you make your way back there, and it basically just looks like the wall is a panel that slides to the side, though you
Okay.
wouldn't have noticed it unless your eyes were trained like yours are. So, do you want to slide it to the side?
Yeah, I think so. It seems like it's. So the blueprints don't though.
They don't go this way.
I guess the blueprints don't even care about the lines, which is very strange to me. I'm not really sure what's up with these. Okay. Yeah, I mean, sure, why not?
Okay. You slide the door aside, and mist, low-hanging mist, rolls out. over
No,
your feet.
not more
Mist!
Just kind of rolls slowly out over your feet, and it seems to cover the.
We all
entire-
immediately Google.
Yeah.
It seems to cover the entire like maybe like 30 by 60 foot room that you open up. It's a rather plain room. It almost looks like while the rest of this crypt has been worked stone, like it was intentionally crafted, this room almost looks like it is just like a carved cave, right? It's not. There wasn't a lot of effort put into this room. And that's what you see when you open up the door. It's just an empty room filled with mist.
So much mist.
I want to go inside.
Okay. I'll take a look inside first.
And I guess I'm gonna use Divine Sense in here,
Okay.
which I think also gives me like let's see.
Hi, Lulu.
You can also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated.
Ah, I see. Yes. As you step in here and activate your divine senses,
Mhm.
this place has very obviously been desecrated.
Okay.
As you move forward into the room, the mist swirls around your ankles, but you find your feet drag on some sort of something beneath the mist, and you kind of have to like part the mist with your foot a little bit to see
Mhm.
what it is. But when you do, the mist parts to reveal basically a line drawn in blood across the floor. And then you follow that line and it kind of begins to create like a circular pattern across the floor in this room. And as you move inwards from there, moving the mist from side to side and trying to see what is underneath it, you find hundreds of slivers of parchment arranged within that blood circle. And each one of these tiny strips seems to bear a word written in Infernal, which you read now, so you would recognize it to be a name.
And what's the name?
They're all different.
Oh, they're all different names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I recognize any of this stuff? Like, is it a familiar type of curse thing? Would I've heard about it in any tiefling stories or anything?
I need you to make a roll. Do
Alright.
we want to pause for you?
Yeah, I can roll.
Or is Moloch still with you?
Yeah.
Would he know?
Let me roll first and then I'll ask you.
Roll for Mama.
Roll!
There's Claire.
What am I rolling?
I just noticed your shirt's so appropriate.
Yeah.
What am I rolling?
An Arcana check with intelligence.
That's pretty good. What is that number, Claire? That's, math. 24.
24.
You can take notes for me.
It is obvious to you that this is some sort of ritualistic magic.
It's obviously some sort of ritualistic magic.
I mean, yeah.
And it has that nuance to it that is now painstakingly obvious to you, that it is a ritual of infernal contract work.
It's an infernal contract work,
Of some
obviously.
I mean, everybody knows that.
I mean, clearly.
I didn't have to roll because you're telling me.
Anything ringing a bell for you, Moloch?
I mean, not in particular. To be honest, I don't know much about Zariel. She was fresh in the hells when I was getting kicked out, so this is all new to me.
So somebody comes in here and flicks a sliver of parchment inside the bloody circle.
With a name on it?
Oh yeah, that's all these are. Just hundreds and hundreds of these little slips.
Does it all represent contracts?
Mm-hmm.
Is the name written in the same hand, or are they like signatures?
It looks to be written in the same hand for each of them.
Okay.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what else can be gained from this room.
Just remember that it's here, I guess, when we're exploring the
What
rest.
would happen if we took some of these slivers out? Alright, we'll just leave it.
They're
Just curious.
contracts. Contracts are hard to break, as we've discovered.
Yes.
Are they names that are like typical, like, I guess I'm trying to wonder, what are they, the origins of the names?
This is something that Thaddeus would have noticed.
Yeah, so I have to ask, are any of these names the ones that I read on those stone slabs?
You may not find any like identical ones because there were hundreds of names on the stone slabs, but they do seem to have like the same percentage of like elven, human, other races in terms of their origin. So
These might correspond to the names on the slabs. I'm not sure. I mean, there are a lot of names there. There are a lot of names here.
Yeah.
You have to do a lot of digging in order to find a match.
Okay, so not a clear correlation or anything?
No.
Okay. Interesting. I'm not really sure what to think of this place.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go follow the footsteps again, I guess.
Okay. So we'll make our way back out?
the other thing that you would see, to present a last thing for this room, is across the room on the opposite side, there seems to be a similar passage to the one you came through to get into the room, leading the other direction.
Is it worth digging deeper?
It might be good to remember that that's there in case our way gets blocked somehow.
It's true.
So you go back out and continue down the tunnel towards
Follow
the
the
big
footprints.
room that opens up ahead.
Yep.
I'm following that.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking for traps though.
Yeah. I mean, you're back in the hall that has those like ghostly wires across
Yeah.
it, but you now know how to avoid those. That's
Yeah.
not a problem. And the hall is shorter on the other side of these alcoves before it opens up into a wide chamber. So it is not long at all before you find yourselves in a new area.
Okay.
This vast room is covered with recesses in the walls that seem to extend upward into darkness. And each recess contains iron burial caskets that are just stacked one on top of another in these shelves carved into the walls. And on top of each casket is a single white petaled flower that is just undisturbed. The footprints kind of walk through this, they kind of meander through this room, like looking at each of the various caskets and then continuing onward to an open passageway across the way.
Is that other passageway kind of like back the way they came in the other direction?
So you've been going down a long straight hallway,
Yeah.
basically.
So there was like the front room sort of
Mhm.
with the monuments.
And then you went
And we
left,
went left.
and then right down a long straight hallway.
Yeah. And so I'm imagining that we're kind of like in the back room now,
Mhm.
and I'm wondering, does the other passage that you're talking about just connect to the right hallway?
No, it basically it continues the long straight hallway a little
Mhm.
bit and then turns around a corner to the right.
Okay.
So I guess to give you an example.
I think that is what I was asking.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, I guess I'm asking if we took that other passageway, would we go down the equivalent hall to the right that we came from?
Perhaps.
Okay.
So here's sort of, if this
Don't
is
worry.
where you came in,
Yeah.
this is sort of what you have so far. Here's the secret room,
Okay. Okay.
and then this is the room you're in now, and then there's a hallway across that
Okay.
turns to the right.
That helps.
So,
Because I thought that maybe like we were in, I thought there was like 3 chambers and we were in the back one, but it seems like we're, okay, I see. I'm kind of run. I don't want to use all my divine senses here, but I don't know what else to do in this room.
and Zant, you don't spot any traps or anything like that in this room. This room seems still and quiet,
Pretty
and
dull. What are the footprints doing?
they kind of walk around the room, look at the various caskets, and then continue onward
Yeah.
down the hall
Yeah.
and to the
Follow
right.
them. We can always explore it later.
Is there a pattern to any casket that they look at, or
No, they
Nothing
kind of
pops
meander in
out?
this room.
okay? Okay, sure.
Either way, that.
And Thaddeus,
Yeah.
you would spot the symbol of the waxing gibbous on each and every one of these iron caskets as well.
Okay.
Do you think it's more traders, or are these must be protected by cereal?
I think. I feel like maybe they were once, but now I'm starting to wonder with that room in the middle. You know, it seems like the bodies here were honored
Mm-hmm.
based on the memorials in front, and then someone came here and desecrated the whole place.
Sure.
But I don't know who would have done that.
I mean, Feonor's right upstairs.
This doesn't seem like a Feonor type of job. I don't think she has the means to move this slab or to get through the pulses if she did.
I guess we don't really know what her role is in this place.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only information about her that you got from Mahadi was that she kind of likes to hang around places with a long death. Because he said that she likes to hang around crypts. Her favorite is the Crypt of the Shattered Gibbous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe she's just using this place as like a laboratory, just like to fuel her research or something.
But
or
none of
whatever she's
these tombs seem disturbed. You just get all these white flowers on top of each one.
I mean, and there was a magic spell protecting this place until
Exactly.
we got
doing.
here.
That's true too.
I don't know. I'm starting to get an idea about what's going on here, but I don't really have
It's
a
not
full
clear
one.
yet. Okay. All right, but we can move on. See what there's.
Yeah.
Okay.
what else there is.
As you leave the room, you feel, Thaddeus in particular, kind of the hairs on the back of your neck stand up a little bit, and you turn around and look into the room, and you swear you see just like a faint bit of movement, but then it's gone.
I'm
And-
definitely gonna tell you about that. And did any of you see that? Zan, did you see that?
Did I see anything? No.
If you didn't see it, I guess it wasn't there.
I can have Yako try and sniff something out.
Let's just keep moving.
Yeah.
You turn the corner, following the footsteps. There's more of these like spectral webs to kind of dodge, but now that you've got the trick for it, it's not a problem. And you follow the footprints straight forward to a place where they turn left and go into another chamber. So I'll add to your map so that you can kind of. Okay.
Is it only left, or is there left and straight?
I've run out of room.
Yeah.
It's a chamber sort of here.
Okay. Oh, I see.
But then
It's
the hallway
long.
continues on
Okay.
that way.
I'm
So
driving
this
my
is
own
like the
as well.
background, sort of.
Zant, again,
Yes.
with your
Tell me that.
incredible perception, you spot another sliding wall opposite the doorway that the boot prints proceed into.
Okay, so wait, hang on. Are the boot prints, do they go down the hallway and on this?
Yes, they kind of go
They do both. Okay.
towards the secret door and also to the hallway.
Okay, so we take a left. And I'm not saying we actually do this. If we take a left, there is also a secret door there.
Yeah,
So
actually,
there's 3 different areas
well,
we can
at
go
the
to.
at the left, there's a regular door. Like there's a regular door.
There's a regular door, but there's
To
also
the
a
left.
secret door.
And there's a secret
to
door
your
to the
right,
right.
there's a secret door.
Okay.
So left is just a hallway with a regular door. To the right, there's a secret door, and then straight ahead, there's a hallway.
Well,
Okay,
I would
gotcha.
say let's go for the secret door first.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
does it look like the footprints go through the secret door?
They kind of like different paths through the crypt, as if it were this figure wandering these halls different times. Some sets of footprints go into the regular door to the left. Some kind of stop at the secret door to the right.
Okay.
Hmm.
Secret door first?
Yeah.
Okay. Traps?
You
Yeah. Check for traps.
Is my detect magic still active?
Your detect magic, I think, would still be active. There is a slight aura of abjuration on this door.
I wouldn't just try to open it if I were you.
Please.
There's some kind of magical effect that's protecting it.
Hmm.
That's right? Abjuration is like shield and protection magic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I remembered that correctly, right? Yeah, there's some kind of magic protecting that door.
Okay. How do you want to proceed?
Well, I can't dispel magic.
I am rapidly becoming unable to dispel magic. I've got maybe another shot or two left at it.
I believe that your bow has that ability.
My bow can counterspell.
Bless you.
Bless you. Oh, or dispel magic.
Yeah, give it a go.
So I can do that.
How
Sure.
many charges?
3 charges out of it.
Cool.
So
Do it.
okay, so I'll spend 3 charges, and I will cast dispel magic.
Okay. The magic that Harmony had observed fades.
Alright, it's safe
Okay.
now.
And then I will open the door.
Okay. As this door slides open and it basically just slides into the wall, there's a set of stairs that ascend upward, and as you come to the top of those stairs,
Uh-oh.
Music stops and everything. Like, oh god. TPK.
I hope not.
It's core.
this
No!
Can you imagine?
Run!
As you ascend the stairs. at the
Run!
it's an elder brain.
We escape. We
This-
teleport the heck out of there.
This circular chamber contains a true horror.
top. Core.
A bulbous mass
Horror?
of pustulous flesh and cartilage floats in the center of the chamber like a vile balloon that oozes dark blood and sickly bile into a shallow pool beneath it. Strong metal chains anchored to the ground of the chamber wrap all around it, constricting the flesh and holding it in place. The most sickening aspect of all, however, is the face in the center of the mask that blinks slowly at you with cold intellect in its vile yellow eyes as saliva drips between its sharp-pointed teeth. Half-formed demonic creatures made of rotting flesh rear up in the pool of blood and bile beneath the floating mass, but are unable to hold their form for long before they melt back into the ooze. Their faces twisted in horrible scowls until the moment they are finally submerged and replaced with other nightmarish creatures. And that is where we're going to end today's episode.
Oh no.
As this is what you face.
Oh.
God.
Can I can't see
It's
it really
like,
though.
what is it? Inside
What?
the game?
Oh,
Inside?
I never played that one.
Or Limbo. Inside.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't
Oh
close the
my
picture though,
gosh.
you'll see its stats.
I won't close it. Wow, that is. Well, we sure found something, guys. Like it's like something from like Doom.
Yeah. Or like Binding of Isaac or something.
Yeah, something crazy like that.
Oh, I see its face there in the middle. Gross. Gross.
Did you say chains hold it?
Yep,
Yeah.
just like in the
You can-
picture, it's
you
kind
see
of
the
bound
chains.
by chains.
Okay.
Sorry to make you look at it again.
And as you stand before that horror, that's a good place to end this
Yes.
episode.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yay!
All right, so thank you guys for playing. Thank you to anyone who tuned in to watch. We'll be back with this more Antiheroes Anonymous Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube. Guys, I'm having a lot of fun in hell.
It's so gross. Everything's
It's
gross.
disgusting. Yeah.
Like, honestly, between like the wasp nest and this thing we just found, this is the first time that it's like really felt like hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
I mean, I was trying to
Yucky.
like, ease into it.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know, the like war machine raging through demons and
That
That's
was
pretty
just
cool.
like
the
metal.
giant. I mean,
Yeah,
our
that was
first
really metal.
our first big fight when we got to hell too against all the demons and stuff.
Yeah.
That was pretty much like, oh, okay.
Those were like, I don't know, those were devilish, but like this really feels like, oh, we are in hell.
Ethan,
Nobody's happy here.
I think Berserker would love this place.
Yeah, probably. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.
Night.
Bye.
Good night.